What's going on, gentlemen? My name is Jack Scrimshire, founder of JC Grooming, and today I'm going to show you how I trim my beard. Typically when I go for a beard trim, I'm not really looking to take any length off. I clean it up around the edges, take out some of those stragglers, clean it up underneath, and just generally make it look a little bit better. Kind of like when you trim your hedges in the yard. But today I am actually looking to take a little bit of length off. The reason being, I've had it at this length for quite a long time, and frankly, I just feel like mixing it up. I think that the best part about having a beard is experimenting, trying different styles, different lengths. I've had everything from the big full beard down to stubble, and I think that this length suits me pretty well, but I've got a couple things coming up soon that I'd just like to trim it back for. Now, to start off, there are a few different tools that you can use to trim your beard. And from largest to smallest, those are regular hair clippers like these ones, a beard trimmer like this one, and a pair of shears like these. Now, I think when it comes to clippers, the difference in the types of clippers really does make a difference only when you consider the speed at which you're trimming and how much you're trimming off. Now, if I'm taking a big 12-inch beard and trimming it down to 3 inches, I think that the hair clippers are probably the best bet because you're going to get the most large, even strokes across the beard. You're going to be able to shape it the way that you want to. These beard trimmers are great for precision. They're great for smaller trims, possibly for the trim like I'm doing today. And the shears are great for anything from detail work to actually shaping and shortening your beard. The reason that I would suggest ever using scissors is because they're controlled, they're slow, and slow is a benefit in this case because if you've never done this before and you're not comfortable with clippers, these can do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. One slip up and your beard can be gone. Trust me, I've done it before. I had it set on 0 millimeters, didn't know, and went right down the middle and just completely destroyed months of beard growth. So if you're not comfortable using the clippers yet, go ahead and stick to the scissors. I'm going to be doing an updated version of our beard trimming tutorial using scissors, but go ahead and check out our channel, and right now we have the older version and I'm doing an update in the next few weeks. So for a normal beard trim, I would probably just use the beard trimmers, especially if I was one of those guys with a shorter beard. They have all those different guards and different settings, so you can really just get a nice even trim without having to do any guesswork. But on my length, you're pretty much freehanding everything. So a normal beard trim, I would probably use these guys just because I can get some detail in there and get that fine precision. But because I am planning on taking some length off, I want to make sure that it's nice and even. So I'm going to use these to get that wider path and that wider cut so I can get more even strokes on those initial cuts. And then I'll come back in with the beard trimmers to do that precision work. So first things first, you want to make sure that your beard is washed and conditioned in the shower. You come out and you style it as you normally would. Don't use too much product because it will affect the way that it cuts. You want it to fall naturally, but still styled in your general style. So I'm not going to use a bunch of balm to get rid of these stragglers that I want to cut off, because that would defeat the purpose. Tomorrow, when I didn't have balm in, those stragglers would be right back where they would be. So I just washed it, applied some oil out of the shower, and then blow dried it to shape. And that's all I recommend that you do, just style it. Now, another little pro tip, if you have a really long beard, wear a shirt that contrasts the color of your beard. For me, this would be a white shirt, but if you have a white beard, wear a black shirt. For me, my beard's not quite long enough that it's really blocking my vision. I can see it against my skin fairly well, and I've also got this white and palish yellow backdrop behind me, so I really get a good visibility on what I'm doing. Now, as I mentioned, I am going to start with the larger clippers, the hair clippers. These are not the nicest clippers in the world, and you don't need the nicest clippers in the world. Just use something decent, something sharp, and take care of them. Make sure you oil them and keep them sharp so that you're not tugging at hairs and pulling them out and things like that, and you'll be good to go. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars on nice clippers. To start out, when I'm taking length off, the first thing that I want to do is set the length. I want to shape the bottom and set the length here. So I'm going to start. I'm probably not going to go to my exact desired length on the first pass because remember, once you make that cut, you can't undo it. So it's better to just make small cuts up the way until you have it where you want it. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to shape the bottom up a little bit. Another thing I want to mention, I know that I'm talking a lot during this video, guys, but there's a lot to think about and a lot of preparation that comes into a beard trim, especially when you're aiming to take length off. So I want to make sure that I cover everything. Now, when I shape the bottom, I always start with just one straight pass from the front to my neck, like this. And you can see I already have that line defined like that. So that's the same line that I'm going to follow, but I'm going to just do it higher up. So I'm going to make that first pass and then come in on the sides and start to even and shape it out. And here we go. Alright, so I've made one cut down the middle, you can probably see that. Now I'm going to just come straight across the sides, and it will be really boxy, but that is intentional, that's the first step. I'm going to just make a box and then I'm going to shape it up. Alright, so you'll see that flat bottom there. I did take quite a bit of length off there. I may actually decide to keep it here, but I'm going to shape it up and see how it turns out. I've got this mirror on the side here that I can actually turn around. So I'm looking at it from the side, and I think I actually like this length. But let me see if I can show you guys this. You'll see that I still have it fairly rounded at the back. Let me see. There we go. So you'll see that I have it fairly rounded at the back. I'm probably going to keep this shape. I like sort of the flatness there, but I want to make it look a little bit more natural. I'm not looking for that sculpted beard look necessarily. And yeah, I mean, this is already a pretty good start. You can see I definitely took some length off there, but I want to just make this shape a little bit more natural towards the back here. And of course I want to take that point out in the front and just sort of round it out on the sides here so I lose that boxiness that you can see. So I'm going to start out by trying to round out this front piece and take away this boxiness and just see what shape that ends up with. For this, I'm going to just take the clippers and sort of make this circular motion down the side and into the bottom of my beard, and that's going to start to round it out. Now for this step, I'm going to take my clippers and make them perpendicular to my beard like this, so this surface is flat against my beard, and I'm going to start to come down and round out the bottom like this.
And I'm just going to do this all the way around my beard.
Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of starting to take away some of this heaviness in the sides. As you'll see here, again, it is really heavy back here. So this is where I'm going to start to make that look a little bit more natural and take some of the length out. It can be really hard to figure out which way the clippers are facing using these double mirrors. Alright, so you guys can see that the shape is really starting to take form here. I've rounded out the front quite a bit, I've rounded out the sides quite a bit. If I look in the mirror this way, it's starting to really round out. And I'm definitely not going to take any more length off. This is a little bit shorter than I was aiming to take off in the first pass, but this is right about where I wanted it to end up. So this is pretty good. Now when I look at this, I really like the shape that I have back here. But again, it still feels a little bit too full or something, so I'm going to just use my side mirrors here to kind of shape that up. I'm going to just pass over it, and let's see if I can get a good view here. Yeah, so I really... Now, as I start trimming all this stuff away, I just really want to comb through here. Now, this feels really heavy in the back, but I have a feeling that some of that is just from the sideburns being a little bit long. So now I want to take just a little bit of length off here and see if that will help there. So what I do here is I take my comb, I push it straight back on the sideburns, and I just make a pass over the comb to take some of that weight out of there. You can already see the difference between the two sides there. That already took some of the weight out. and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Alright, and same deal over there. Now, part of the other reason that this probably looks so heavy is all the hair that's actually growing on my neck. I didn't typically trim behind my beard because it covered it. So now I'm going to take out some of that just to see what I'm really working with, what's really here, and really get an idea of what's left. Alright, let's see how this looks. So I see here I have a bit of a longer piece there. I think if I take this out, it'll really help reduce some of that weight and help correct the shape a little bit more. So I'm going to do that, and let's see how it looks. Alright, now the only other thing that I see here is on this back piece on both sides. I think you can see that it's just hanging a little bit low for my taste. With this shorter beard, I don't necessarily want this back piece to come down so far. So I'm just going to use my side mirror here and take off some of that length there and shape it up. Okay, so that shape on the bottom, as you'll see, has really become a lot more natural. I've gotten rid of the point in the front. It's got this nice rounded look. It follows my jaw very well. I still have that strong jawline that I like to set with my beard. And actually I've maintained a lot of the fullness. So one of the benefits to growing out as long as I had it and then cutting it to this length is you really get to choose how full you want your beard. A lot of times if you just grow it to here and start trimming it and keeping it here, you're not going to get to really keep as much of that fullness. So this is really beneficial if you like a fuller beard that's shorter as well. Now the last thing that I want to do is I want to go up with the precision clippers and just go all the way around and really clean up any stragglers that are left behind. I've barely touched the sides of my face, haven't touched the cheeks at all. And in doing this, I'm going to give this trim the look of a professional trim. It's going to be really refined, really polished, and it's just going to be complete. So that's the goal. You want your trims to end up looking professional, and this last step is going to be what takes it to that level. So I'm going to come back in with these precision clippers and I'll show you exactly how I do that. Now, just like I did before when I was rounding out the shape of my beard, I'm going to have these perpendicular to my face and just go along and treat it like a hedge. Just trim anything that sticks out. And we're going to take this really slow. We're going to make a lot of passes. We're going to get a bunch of little different hairs flying out, and we're going to comb it a couple times just to see if anything wants to pop out. Take your time with this. This is where you really put those finishing touches on. Alright, so let's start out with a nice comb through. And I can't stress this enough, guys. You want to use a decent comb as you're doing this, because if you're using a drugstore plastic comb, it's going to cause hairs to stick out with that static charge that they tend to give you. So you're going to end up trimming more than you need to. Alright, here we go. And guys, this is where that white backdrop really helps out. So if you can wear a lighter colored shirt or darker colored depending on the color of your beard, something that these stragglers are really going to pop out against, this is where it really comes in handy. Alright, so I think I'm actually pretty happy with this. I've got a few stragglers, but I don't want to do too much. I don't want to go overboard trimming these stragglers, because those stragglers today could be in place tomorrow and give me a lot of fullness that I need. So I'm just going to get it to a point where it looks really clean without taking everything off. That way I can use a balm, I can throw it in there, lay those down, and have a nice full looking beard. Now the next steps are to line up the beard and trim the mustache, but I'm gonna save those for another video because I think that those things stand up on their own. They are a part of the overall trim, but they're equally as important on their own. A trim happens, I don't know, every 2-3 weeks or even longer depending on how often you're doing it. I like to line up the beard and do the mustache shaping every single week, if not every other week. So next week we'll release the mustache video, and the week after that we'll show you how to line up your beard. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this trim, but let me know what you guys think. Do you like it this short? Did you like it longer? Do you like the shape that I went with? Is there anything you would have done differently? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this, beard trimming and grooming tutorials. Until next time, I'm Jack Scrimshire with JC Grooming. Thanks for watching.